besides the general education which you receive, you also receive certain religious instruction, and it is of course in the intention of these institutions, Swaminarayan or Catholic, Islamic schools or Protestant schools or Buddhist schools, that these life ways, if you want to call it, ways to live your life, are to be also taught, just as you teach mathematics and other things. And Swaminarayan schools are very popular now, very important. They're very powerful. Talking about the Swaminarayan faith right now in Gujarat, it's a highly visible, it's not a faith, as far as I can understand, that is shy of visibility. It seeks to promote its adherents by showing that it exists. It is tied to, I wouldn't call it ostentation, but it's tied to what I would call celebration. It likes to celebrate its achievements, its vision, its notion of glory, its notion of being picked as the right way at the present time. So they spend a fair amount of money, or a good portion of the money is spent in constructing highly visible architectural types, highly visible presences like processions and ceremonies. This is not a faith, or at least that aspect of it, is not designed to be self-retiring. They may not be extremely boastful, but they are not trying to hide where they are. This is not a secret society or events of things that happen secretly. They believe very powerfully in the promotion of the divine with public spectacles, with the factor of faith being shared, joyous notions, joyous communions to be shared with each other and with other people. For instance, if there are processions, they won't just do the dancing within the temple of the Swaminarayan faith. If they're going along the road, they'll be happy to dance that. Those notions of exuberance, which is, it is a movement and a faith that is not apologetic. It doesn't apologize for what it is. It celebrates what it is. It is telling people, it's fairly open. It attracts people to it. I don't know enough about schisms in it. I know, of course, there are many factions. Not factions, but I would say branches of it. And they are well recognized. I mean, for a faith that is, faiths have a tendency to be a world religion, or even to be a national religion. It takes a long time for this to happen. You may have a charismatic individual, and in this century, in my lifetime, there's Sai Baba, and there's that Anandi Mai Ma, and many others. There's even the present Amma from the south, who are highly charismatic individuals, and they attract to their persons large numbers of followings, and because of their power and, I would say, goodness, I don't consider these people as charlatans or shams, but that they have a certain capacity that attracts a lot of people to them, so much so that they are able, in the course of a short lifetime, to accumulate large resources, which often are converted into hospitals, universities, schools, and other service organizations. By and large, these people whom I'm talking about, Anand Mai Ma, Sai Baba, and others, they are not in the self-aggrandizing business. They are treated as very important persons, treated almost superior to political heads in many cases. But they themselves are not the ones seeking that office. Politicians and businessmen elevate them to those positions, and of course shower a lot of attention on them. But I could be wrong. I mean, my understanding is based on my general notion. I haven't done any actual research nor of religious persons in India. Even the people I'm talking about, I'm talking about in very general terms, is terms to my particular precept. When people are important and very powerful, of course they can be around them many other people, and corruption of various kinds can be occurring, which may very well be the case with Swaminarayan, particular leaders or particular factions or paths. But that's not my business to talk about. Firstly, I don't know, so I would simply be saying things that I don't know. All I can say is that based on what I do know, which is that they are growing in visibility in Gujarat. In Drangadra, when I was a young boy, there were two Swaminarayan temples which were very small and invisible. For instance, Manubhai Soni, my jeweler, is a Swaminarayan person. And there are several Jhalas who have become Swaminarayan and who are landowners or businessmen or whatever. And by and large, since that time, now they're two, the biggest, most visible and most, I don't know if ostentatious is the right word, but dramatic buildings in the last 60 years to go up in Drangadra is the school, are the two new Swaminarayan complexes, part temple, part school, part residential area, and these are very important. I'm talking about 60 years. Things have gone there. There's college been built in Drangadra, and other things have been built, but nothing that's as eye-catching as these two schools in terms of kind of architecture. And I think they're a good force. They are people, we've not heard any negative things that I'm hearing. Meaning they may be between brothers, look at my hand, all the fingers of my hand are not, all the fingers are not equal, right? Some are longer, some are shorter, they have different functions. And so there may be some competition or there may be some rivalry amongst these people or people who run certain schools or certain temples. But by and large, I think they are a positive force in Gujarat and certainly in Drangadra.
Now you say you noticed the changes from when you were young to now,
yeah.
As far as the the structures that were built,
visibility.
The visibility as far as that's concerned. But how about the population? Did you notice many Swaminarayan back then, or do you notice more now?
As I said, I think it's a strong and growing movement. If it was strong earlier, that strength was invisible to me, because I impute high visibility to popularity. The very fact that you could have these large structures built with their adherents, teacher compliments, swamis, sadhvis, sadhus, and other acharyas, in other words, the whole complex. Maybe they were all there, but they weren't in Drangadra. They may be in another part of Gujarat, and maybe this is tied to notions of the Swaminarayan movement, saying now, let us go to Drangadra. Let us go to other places as they expand their educational and religious activities. They select certain areas where they're going to establish these schools. After all, they must have a population base. If they're just not going to build it in the middle of nowhere, they're going to, it's a service to people. So they will obviously set up where there's, in their idea, is a demand and a need. And once they set it up, of course, they hope to win a following, win a loyalty from the population by the service of their educational program. I think one very important component of the education that Swaminarayan schools provided, as well as many other so-called socio-religious schools, orders, is that